In the last 12 months here, we've done 1.6 million in net profit in my online coaching business. And we've done that with no setters, no closers, no sales calls, just me, my virtual assistant, and my AI agent. And our main program that we sell is called the Bulletproof Boardroom, and our members include some of the biggest names in this industry. And I share that with you because the way that we've sold every single one of the seats is with content. And you would think because of that I would probably like making content. And the truth of the matter is, this is one of my very least favorite activities. And a lot of our Bulletproof Boardroom members don't like making content either. And this became a big topic of discussion at our last mastermind. So if right now content feels like a heavy thing for you, a thing that you resist, I'm right there with you. I think this video is going to be really valuable for you. It's the entire afternoon session of one of the days of our last mastermind. And I think what I'm about to share with you is at the very least going to move the needle for you in a way to maybe, just maybe, it becomes just a little bit easier for you to get all that goodness that you have in front of the eyeballs of your perfect fit prospects. And if you want the entire content and ads persuasion system that we give our clients that comes with a pre-trained AI agent that does 95% of the work for you, you can check out the link in the description. Without further ado, here is day 2 of the last Bulletproof Boardroom Mastermind. In everything that we do, there are prerequisites that we all need to remember. Like the when all else fails, remember this. So if you don't have a when all else fails, go back to basic principles. You see me do this on almost everything. We're going to do that on the content creation side, I think, to the best of my ability, and we'll fill in the gaps along the way with the questions and shit that you got. Number 1, the most important thing is intention. Jason Milan, thank you so much for reminding me of this. You see, watch in real time. I'm taking your feedback of what's on your mind in the interest of everybody at that table, and now we're creating a relevant lesson for everyone. Hope you notice that that's happening right now because it makes things way easier. So Jason came up to me and he's like, you know, a thing that was really impactful for me a few years ago when you shared like the power of your actual intention. And so I think first of all, this word needs to be defined a little bit better so that we understand what does intention mean. And it just means what are you creating, right? So my intention at all times with you guys is to help you the best that I can within the boundaries and limits that I've created for myself, meaning I'm willing to help you, but I'm not going to like come to your house and do it all for you, right? Like that's what I mean when I say. So my intention is for you to be in a better condition before, during, and after our relationship together. How many of you guys, by a show of hands, authentically feel like I want you to fucking be in a better spot as a result of this thing? Right. So that's how you know where somebody's intention is. You just kind of fucking feel that they got you. Before I do anything, this allows me to get away with everything I fucking get away with. I can say anything because words are only 7% of communication. 7%. I would argue that it's even less than that. But let's just go with that stat. 93% is basically intention. Everything else that's in that bucket on the fucking pie chart, splitting it up, whatever you want to do, long story short, nothing really happens or matters without intention. Somebody could say the same exact words as somebody else, but with a different intention, just doesn't land the same, right? We've all experienced this. You've experienced it in trying to say the same words in your content that somebody else fucking said, and yours didn't perform as well as theirs. Why? Is because theirs was from an authentic, real, it was them intention place, and yours was I'm trying to copy them. Different intention. I'm trying to get views versus I'm trying to help you. So that matters a lot, which is why in the beginning of our relationship together, I asked all of you, what is your intention, right? Because you have 3 intentions. If you guys remember this conversation I had with pretty much every one of you, I'm pretty sure. You can either fully intend that this is going to be the fucking game changer that you're hoping for, in which case it will be. You can hope that it's going to work out, cross your fingers, and have the opportunity for this sucks, but also the opportunity for this might be good. Or you're intending to prove that this is yet another thing that is a useless, wasteful fucking waste of time and money, and that I'm wrong, and reaffirm your confirmation that, yep, everybody in this industry is a piece of shit. Those are the main 3 intentions. You guys see that, right? So how you know where somebody's intention is basically what do they fucking do? And you can also feel it, right? So I always refer back to Justin because it's obvious where his intention, it's obvious where your intention is. Like the way you engage with me and your clients, especially with me, hit or miss sometimes with clients, which is understandable. And same, to be clear, like it's easy to be like, fuck these people, you know, like I get it, I'm with you, but it's obvious where your intention is at. Like you just keep showing up, leaning in, showing up, leaning in, executing, and that's why he's the fucking man, right? Yeah, thank it makes me look good, and it makes you look good, and everybody fucking wins. It's amazing. So we need to have the intention for our, not just our clients, but for our prospects, for our audience, for the people who are consuming us in some way. Our intention needs to be for us to raise the condition of not only our universe, but their universe. And you know when somebody's mailing it in and they don't give a fuck, you're just a number, versus when somebody's real intention is to develop an actual real connection with you and increase your ability level, your awareness level, your bank account level, all your levels. So why can I get away with a bunch of bullshit is because the underlying intention, you feel that shit from me. And if you don't, I don't know how else to express it better. So sorry. Maybe it's your intention to completely have, a counter intention against mine. That's totally fine. That just sucks for you. It's unfortunate, but I can't do much else about that. If your intention is to take yourself down in the grand scheme of things, I can't prevent that from happening personally. Okay? So we both need to have the intention in a given direction. So if my intention is going in a given direction like this, and your intention is also going in that direction, we call that being in alignment. And when we're in alignment with things tend to go well. So without this prerequisite, nothing else fucking matters. You can say all the right shit in your content, still not going to do well, because your intention is not to serve the client. Whatever the fuck else it is, I don't care what else it is. The intention should primarily be to serve the client. Now, there also should be an intention. There's actually a really good, some of you guys might have heard me reference this. There's a guy by the name of Stuart Wilde. How many of you guys have heard of Stuart Wilde? Yeah. Okay. He's how many of you guys have heard of Alan Watts? Yeah. Okay. He's kind of like a ancillary Alan Watts type. He has a number of different books and talks. Would highly recommend. There's actually a couple short audio books. Little Money Bible, The Force. There's a talk on YouTube called The Mastery of Money. I think I turned you on to the Mastery of Money thing a few years ago. Really good. Long story short, if you come from a place of service to the marketplace, you just won't have to worry about money. Outflow value with intention to improve, not outflow value with intention to get. That's not outflowing, that's trying to inflow. Just go give, right? And so when you have that intention, paired with the intention of giving in a way that feels best to you, you can't really be stopped, okay? So intention matters. And all that is even for this event, for this mastermind, despite the fact that for all intents and purposes, I'm severely underprepared, right? But my intention, I just said, what is my intention for this? Is everybody to be in a better condition than they were when they came? For everybody to walk away with at least one thing that is a massive takeaway. Obviously, subcategories of that are this AI shit. Get you going on some sort of a flow of that, as well as the selfish intention of capturing, 30 fucking testimonial videos that I can use where you're all jamming about how cool the AI shit is, so I can use them as testimonials and sell fucking more people, right? So selfishly, that's my main, and then third is capturing, this so I can clip from it. Those are the 3-4 main things. Inside of that container, as long as my intention, I'm looking at you guys and seeing your feedback, and if you're half dead, I'm like, am I fucked up, or you guys just forgot, you tuned out, so I've re-engaged you. But other than that, that's my intention, and it's blanketing this whole room, right? I'm trying to permeate each one of your universes and get you in alignment, kind of almost against your will at times, because you drift off, right? Nothing bad, just I got to get you back so we're back in alignment, and sometimes I do that in a startling way. Okay, fine. I digress. Intention. Nothing matters without it. Set it. If you're not clear on what that intention is, define that shit, okay? So, number 2, and this is, how many of you guys went through the Power Principles protocol thing? Cool. So, there's one in there, and that is what I'm, at least in there, referred to as the bulletproof spirit. And that is, anybody know what the fuck that is? What is that? What am I referring to? Play. The spirit of play. Have fucking fun. Easy to forget that one. So I'll just say spirit of play / have fun.
What are these principles?
These are going to be principles as it relates to content creation, but also these apply across the board. But what the spark of this was Josephine basically saying there's considerations about I hate creating content. My content doesn't perform well, doesn't get the right clients, blah. We got to the bottom of it, which I'll disclose as we go here, that was it's obvious why now, right? You see why it's pretty fucking obvious now, which is a great thing, because if it wasn't obvious, then it would be but at least there's a big glaring obvious one here. And it's one that's plaguing even myself when things aren't working so well. And so I go back to defaulting. I'm like, oh, I see what's been missing. A couple fucking prerequisites. Okay, so I'm trying to distill this down into what are those so that you can apply them across the board, and then we'll specifically relate that to like the tacticals of content creation. But like you're asking about funnel type, you're asking about acquisition strategy, all of you fucking people are talking about leads and ads and what buttons do I push and funnel type and what the CTAs and shit should be. That's like the equivalent of like the 7% of the words analogy. Like 93% of it is if people are bought into you, they'll convert on whatever stupid mechanism you got. I use the example, I'm like, I would say at least half this room was so sold on me that I could have said, all you got to do is print out and mail this postcard, and y'all would have fucking signed up. I know at least 10 of you in this room would have done that, right? I see heads nodding. That lets me know that I'm probably pretty fucking close. You mean the postcard method works now? No, stop it. Stop. Bad. No, down.
I heard for Dan Kennedy, you have to like
fax it and you wait weeks. Yeah. So the point is if you're in demand enough, back to, in demand, it doesn't fucking matter. So how then do you create that demand for you? Well, content, we've already talked about that, but if you have resistance to creating content, you think you got to follow all sorts of fucking rules and make it hard for yourself to do it, then nothing matters downstream and no conversion mechanism will ever work, ever, no matter what the fuck you do or how much volume you put out. You guys with me? Okay, so having fun. And these might only be the only 2 rules. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. But I'll give you the example of, is it okay if I share our recounting of that? Because that's the example that's fresh in my mind. And if you're not okay with it, I don't give a fuck. So I was like, all right, so what's the deal? And she's basically like, well, all my competitors are, out there hiring video. She's in a real estate niche, by the way. They're, always in front of buildings and shit and in a real estate type of environment. I don't have that kind of time, and videographers, yada, yada. And then she's like, I got my other competitors who are, flexing their fleet of, millions of dollars worth of supercars and all this stuff. And my English is second language. I'm from Germany, and there's that. And I got to say all these things in this way, and I got to remember this and that. And like all of a sudden, we start stacking up all of these obstacles to getting content out. And so then the content that does make it past that is all this watered down fucking vanilla shit that she thinks she has to say. How do I differentiate myself from these other guys flexing all this stuff with all these things and all this shit going on? And so I'm like, well, no wonder. None of this is fun. All of it is heavy. And so as a prerequisite, I'm like, what would need to happen for you to just have some fucking fun? Like, what would that look like? And so she kind of smiled a little bit and didn't really have an initial answer. And I'm like, because I used to be in that boat, and I still, to be fair, don't love it, okay? So these aren't like, here's how to love it all the time. Like, no, I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there. It's not looking promising, but at least we're getting to the point where it gets done and it's there as a prerequisite. So as a prerequisite, we know things that don't change is we have to do, and I don't know, we'll put this in blue. Things that don't change is we have to do content, consistent content. Like that has to happen. We've already agreed on that. Okay. That means sustainably for a long period of time. And it has to be in a way that, I guess under that, it has to be in a way that we can do it that doesn't feel like shit, right? And so every barrier that we put in between us and doing content consistently is a thing that'll just make us feel like shit and make us not do it. So let's strip all of it back down to, if we know it's got to be done, how do we have fun? And so back in the day, 5 years ago. How many of you guys have ever heard of Clark Kegley? Anybody ever hear that name? Okay. He's a good friend. He's also a pretty big YouTuber. Go sub to Clark. Clark's my fucking G. I love this guy. Just for context, so you can put a face to a name. Where are you at, Clark? I'll just type it in. Internet personality. That's who Clark is. So here's my buddy Clark. So what does he got? 1.94 million subs. Not bad. He's been creating content for a while. Say it again. 298 videos, it says, and they're all long form. I don't know how much short form he does. I don't care. That's beside the point. When we first met, we were hanging out, and I asked him, okay, how do I do YouTube? I barely had a channel at this point, and I'm like, teach me, dog. And he's like, and I started explaining to him, like, you know, what I'm thinking, scripted, all these obstacles and the same considerations basically that everybody has that are all barriers for all of us. And he's like, well, when I was first getting started, he's like, I still do this to this day, not quite as much, but he's like, when I first was getting started on YouTube, like, I would watch myself back and I fucking hated it. I was like stiff and rigid and it sucks. The content didn't perform very well. And he's like, so I just started drinking before I filmed. He's like, I would slam a few beers and then film. Like, literally just chug 3 beers in a row and just go fucking film. And I'm like, that's a fascinating approach, but I could see how that would work. And he's like, even still to this day, almost every time I film, I have a couple drinks, loosen up. And I'm like, all right, I'm down. And so he made it to where he had some fucking fun doing it. He loosened. So all y'all need to loosen the fuck up and stop trying to make it something and just be you. Easier said than done. Yeah.
Well, I like to do, I'll just yap for like a minute, and then I'll just find like my favorite 20 seconds. It works every time.
Yeah, so the problem for most, though, is the yapping for a minute about what? What do I say? I'm not in front of the right background. I don't have this going. So, like, that's what most people, where most people are at. So I'm with you. Appreciate it. But the problem is the yapping starting. It's like, you know, you started the yap and you're just like, this fucking sucks.
Like, what's up, bro? I start like, hey, bros, hey, guys. I cut out, hey, guys. It's easier if I just say, hey, guys. I don't know why. And then I just cut that shit out.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Table that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Los. So for you, I don't know what that is, but if it's not fun, you're fucked. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, what would I have to do to make it impossible for me to not have fun? Like, you got to do it. Like, you got to have fun doing this or, like, your whole family die. What would you do? Yeah, it causes you to think a little different, doesn't it? You have to have genuine, authentic fucking fun doing this. What are you doing, right? That's an interesting question. All of you need an answer. For me, it's relatively simple. I set my intention to have fun. When all else fails, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm going to serve you, motherfucker, and I'm going to have fun doing it. It's pretty easy. Like, how do you serve people? Well, how many of you guys have ever been a server? Great. How do you serve people? Doctor. What do? You walk up to them and you say, what can I get you? They tell you, then you go get it, right? That's what service is. So all I do when I'm severely, hilariously underprepared for this mastermind, I don't want to look like a total fuck up in front of you. I also am realizing that there's big, massive shifts with large ramifications across all of your businesses, and you're paying me thousands of dollars to help you solve these problems that I barely understand, and you're flying from all over the goddamn world to be right here, and I'm supposed to fucking have my shit together, and I'm sitting there as of 2 days ago not really knowing what I'm gonna do. That started to feel a little heavy, if you might imagine, right? And so then I don't know, back to basics. I'm gonna serve these people. I've already proven that, like, the whole go around the room thing, that's how I've run everyone until this point. Here we go, another successful one, and much less prep time on my part, right? So find out what they want. I can do that. And then just have fun fucking around on that until we see something start to move in the right direction. Now, of course, there's other things that, like, I did my best to prepare the whole fucking Victor shit and all this stuff. Like, that's where the intention, like, I'm getting it as far as I can. I had hours of calls on a fucking weekend that neither I nor the clients that I had them with wanted to do, but I did it because I knew it would not necessarily, I certainly would not have as much fun if I didn't have something that you could fucking install and we could talk about and you could touch and feel and stuff. But my point is like, if I'm up here trying to, like, if I need to, like, create a bunch of slides and, like, oh my God, it starts to feel heavy. It just, as soon as the slow of slides starts coming out of my mouth, I'm just like, no, that is so bad feeling. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do that. Oh, how can I just have some fucking fun? That's my only job. Have fun serving you people. And from that comes good stuff, right? So if you're getting stuck on doing a thing, people are paying you or thinking about paying you to help them with stuff, to serve them. Cool. Intend to serve them. Second, intend to have fun doing it. And if you catch yourself not having fun, I don't care if you need to drink or just remind yourself to have fucking fun. But lighten the fuck up. Remind yourself to lighten the fuck up. If it's not fun, it won't work. All the best stuff you've ever done, myself included, has been fun while I've been doing it. If it's not fun, I make it fun, and that's how it becomes good. It's playing around. I get paid to play around with stuff. I get paid to make fucking jokes and shit like that too, right? So, very important. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what would I have to do to make this fucking fun every time? Like, really have a riot, whatever that is for you, right? I don't know what that is for you. I think everybody's definition of fun is different. I don't care, but it should feel fun. Have fucking fun! We're gonna have so much fucking fun, we're gonna whistle and zippity doo out of fucking assholes. Anybody know that movie reference? God, Chevy Chase, is that Christmas Vacation? Yeah, oh, thank you. One person. God damn. Alright.
I watch that every Christmas.
Same. That's why you and I get along. Good taste. Everybody, upgrade your taste. All right. In fact, watch more Chevy Chase movies. They're fun. They'll make you smile and laugh and stuff. I know it's a foreign concept for some of you, but do it. You're welcome in advance. Or be miserable. Whatever you want. Just don't bring that shit near me. All right. Everybody good with this as a general concept? Cool. Anybody already come up with an idea of how they can have more fucking fun doing what they do? What?
So on our onboarding call, we talked about our perfect client, Hannah.
Yeah.
She came from when I was heavy into doing webinars.
Wow.
And the content that I create from webinars, I clipped and put it on my socials, get the most engagement.
Oh my God.
And here I am fucking around with saying vanilla shit, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Trying to read a script and edit all of this versus just do more webinars.
Yeah.
Clip it, put it on Insta.
Oh my
clip it,
God.
Put it on YouTube.
Holy fucking shit. That's amazing. Nice. Anybody else come up with something that might help have a little bit more fun? Yeah.
I love spending time with my family, and anytime I'm outdoors, I get inspired. And
Oh, cool.
When I'm inspired, I'm like, I can turn on a camera and do some fun stuff.
Sick. So whatever that is for, yeah, Jordan.
Do it as soon as the idea comes to your mind, rather than adding it to the bottom of your fucking to-do list. When
Yeah.
the passion for it disappears.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Cool.
Pump up song.
Pump up song?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. And it should feel like, it should feel just light, and it should feel almost irresponsible. I would say, I have very much towed the line of responsibility over the last 48 hours. I'm sure you guys have felt that. Have you guys felt that a little bit of that from me, or have I hit it very well? Anybody feel that, like, wow, this guy's a little off the... No? All right, cool. A little bit. So I've done well at masking that. It has felt uncomfortably irresponsible, just to let you know. But I default to, you know what? Words are only 7% of the deal. The energy is what gets transferred, and the intention is what gets... As long as my intention doesn't waver, which for me, that shit's locked in. That doesn't move. And that's the thing we were talking about with sales calls and stuff. My intention is to serve you. The only way to serve you is to close you. And if I get on a sales call, you're not leaving that call without closing, because my intention's for you to win is stronger than your intention to object. By the way, if you're doing sales calls, that's how you approach them, and the right words come. If you're hoping or trying and you're okay with them leaving, you're fucked. My intention and certainty that you're going to be better off in my fucking environment is going to absolutely demolish your objections. And that's how you come up with cool, good shit to say just out of your ass. How many of you guys have been on, like, in a situation like that where you're like, you just say some shit, you're like, where the fuck did that come from, and it worked? Anybody? Yeah. Well, here's the fucking recipe to create more of that. If that's not coming to you, you're missing one of these two things. That's where it comes from. If we're looking at that emotional tone scale, if you, just to be very simple about this, there's the top part, that's the real you, and at the top of that is like the realest you of the realest you, the most powerful superpower spiritual being that is you. Down here is your mind that wants to keep you fucking stuck in the heaviness. Well, however you want to explain it, whether it is a, those of you who raised your hand of finding yourself saying stuff that you're not sure where it came from, right? How many of you guys have ever said something you're not sure where it came from, but it was like, it just came through you? That happens when you're up here, okay? From up here is where you create intention, and from up here, this is your highest state of playfulness and the real open, free version of yourself. That's when, if you channel something, that's where, if you want to talk about connecting to the higher mind or the Akashic records or the fucking whatever place that the universal intelligence lives, however you want to talk about it or define it, you access that shit from up here. If you're feeling frustrated, afraid, doubtful, and heavy, you're not going to access that shit. And even if you said the right words that were scripted for you, they're going to be delivered from a place of heaviness, and it's going to be fucked.
You should sell a system that helps us get to this.
It's a good idea. I'll think about it, though. I'm not sure it feels heavy. All right.
Just thinking about like this environment that we're in, I just started noticing a couple of these fitness influencers that come into my feed because I'm in perimenopause. And the ones that are like crushing it are the ones that are funny and hilarious. Like gaining weight in your 40s is hella not fun, but they're bringing that point in a really fun light and like making fun of it. Like your insertion of jokes helps. You
Yes.
know, it's like, how can we get them to feel that we get them, we understand their pain point, but do it from a place of like, man, it's actually really fun here.
That's a perfect segue and parlay into round 2 of this, and Josephine perfectly left the room. I'm gonna completely destroy her. No, I'm just kidding. So she's like, well, I gotta show up in a certain way because we have these investors and they expect a certain image. And if I make the content in this way and I'm, outlandish or too fun, they'll be like, I don't know if I should have that bitch managing my shit, right? And that type of stuff. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. Have you ever sat down with one of your clients and cursed and made jokes and whatever and just was yourself? Yeah. Did they leave the room running and screaming? No. Did it break your rapport? No, it actually increased it. It's like, yup. So everything that she thought was a limiter as to why she couldn't do this type, that type, be herself in whatever form, in whatever form, she thought it had to be. I'm like, how many of you guys have seen the end scene from 8 Mile by show of hands? Cool. So there's a movie called 8 Mile. There's a rapper by the name of Eminem. If you have not watched this movie, highly recommend. Detroit. All right. That's right. So at the end of this movie, rap battles. Eminem is like the finals of this fucking big old rap battle, and he gets up first. And of course, he's like, this scrawny white guy in a sea of these big black dudes in a fucking, basement in Detroit, and they all look like they're gonna fucking murder him. It's like that. So the stakes are very high, right? And so he does something brilliant. He takes, and to be clear, for those of you who have not seen this movie, the whole point of this rap battle is to basically destroy the other guy and like make fun of him and like dress him down to where he's just a complete shell of his former self. That's who wins, okay? Eminem does something very, very strong and powerful and unfightable. You might say he did something bulletproof. Okay. All right, so what he did is he knew what the other guy was going to attack. He presented all of those jokes, arguments, disses, and basically destroyed himself. And so then at the end, I was going to play this clip, but the fucking sound doesn't sync well with the TVs and whatever. Go find it on your own. At the end, his last line of his freestyle there is, now tell the people something else they don't know about me. The guy had nothing. And he gets up there. His opponent gets up there, the beat starts, and he's just like, and then he just walks off the stage because he's got nothing to fucking say. And so I said to Josephine, so a couple of different considerations was English is my second language, my accent, I'm an immigrant, I don't have a fleet of supercars, I'm not shooting content in front of buildings because of X, Y, and Z. I'm like, great, call all of that out. And then shit on those big dick swinging Lambo wielding mother morons that need to do their real estate deals to show everybody how big their dick is, and shit on their dick measuring contest all over it, and be like, if you need, your real estate guru to have a fleet of supercars to demonstrate somehow a fleet of supercars equals real estate knowledge prowess, which is retarded as fuck because Warren Buffett doesn't have any supercars and he owns a lot of fucking real estate. So it turns out that they're just playing a big dick measuring game, and that has nothing to do with actual results. In fact, if you could find actual case studies of people who are actually frauds that were found out, then you can basically, by association, they will loop everybody else in that bucket into the fraud bucket, and now all of a sudden you become the truth exposer. And not only that, I'm like, now you might be thinking, and so I'm like, think of every like stereotype that you can from a completely objective point of view. Just take it, Eminem didn't care about, the white guy cracker stereotype. He didn't care. He knew that was going to be used, and he just leaned right into it. So I'm like, cool. What could people consider if they were going to be completely prejudiced? Like, we're talking like the worst of the worst. If you can drudge up all of the worst shit, there's nowhere else to go. So I'm like, all right, cool. Here's all the beliefs and stereotypes. Women don't know how to do business. So men are better at business than women. This clip taken out of context should be good. Blonde women are dumb. Foreign people shouldn't be doing business in America. Germans are bad people. I can't understand your stupid accent. Women can't do math. Whatever that is, right? That's why I said you got to look at all of the things that somebody who's the worst, and you dredge it up. And so she was like, well, yeah, I have to demonstrate myself as an expert, though. And I'm like, frame it as a benefit. I'm not saying say this exact line, but the idea is, well, if a blonde woman immigrant who can barely speak fucking English can do this, I bet you can figure it the fuck out. What these Lambo wielding retards are doing are trying to make it all complicated and fucking challenging so that you need to pay them for their expertise. The truth is, it's not that fucking hard. If I can do it as a poor blonde woman immigrant who can't do math or speak English from fucking Germany, you see, now all of a sudden they're like, that makes a good point. Maybe I do have a chance. You see how we've just completely dismantled that. And if it becomes a thing that people are like, wow, first of all, you already know that there's going to be people that are like, I appreciate that. Just from principle of seeing whether it's the Eminem example or like any damaging self-admission, it's reverse psychology. Mismatchers will immediately take the opposing, well, no, don't talk about yourself like that, right? And so it's like, look, if you need me to go out there and shoot content in front of a fucking building for you to listen to me, like, I'm not your person. It shows that, like, you're looking at the wrong stuff in terms of how to evaluate somebody to help you with your real estate career. Now, I get that helps, but I'm just letting you know, like, it has nothing to do with the actual content. So, for the sake of this video, assume there's a fucking building behind me, and we'll be good, if that's what you need. Or just turn this shit off and go follow somebody. Here's a list of people in the description. You can go follow them. They film content in front of buildings, and they have Lambos, and they have penises. I'm not sure about their math skills, but if that's your prerequisite as to how you qualify people, go fucking follow them. But if you actually want to learn how to get from point A to point B without obstacle, might be worth checking out the rest of this video if you can understand my shitty English. Don't worry, there's a translate fucking thing now on YouTube. Press that if it's too bad for you. And they'll be like, oh, I like this bitch. She has some fucking attitude. What's that?
I got an additional thought.
Yeah.
So it actually ties Drexel, right? Yeah. So it ties to what he's talking about. In the world of what I was speaking, you guys all at some point speak already have. You pretty much have like an instant on a stage to grab people's attention or not. And what I was taught early on is 4 things you gotta pay attention to, which is can I be an innovator, can I be a motivator, can I be a leader, can I be a friend? If I can do all 4 of those on a stage, you kill it. And so the idea is like the innovation is do I think in a way that's unique or different from everybody else is doing. And I'll just use the example because obviously we're here.
Yeah.
So he thinks in a way we don't do our typical day to day. Then there's a part of can I be a motivator, which is can I get you to believe it's possible? Can I break it down, simplify it, clarify it, even amplify or tell you whatever you're thinking about stupid? We're motivating you right now with the thought of like you can go do this, right? Then can I be a leader, one that leads by example, but also like says, hey, come follow me. Not shy to say it, like, hey, come follow me, right? To actually lead people. The 4th one's the friend, which is what we're addressing right now. So if you think about your closest friends, like as guys, obviously, there's like a running like little video on the internet of some guys like I'm having a hard time, guys, and like it's all they're playing the game. The guy's like, you know, he's like, if I die, like it's because he goes, if you die, let him go to your like, you know, he's like, I'm gonna go there just to make sure you're dead. Which is interesting because as guys, you know, it's like that's what good buddies do. We go back and forth and talk shit all the time. So what it's essentially saying is like bring them into the world of what you would actually operate with your real friends.
Yeah.
The scary part is what if somebody judges me? They're not your friend, which means they're never be your client. So it's gonna be completely okay to just kind of like be you.
Yep.
So yes, that they may not be your exact like way of doing it, but find the thing that's like when you talk to your girlfriends, how do you guys communicate, banter back and forth? Because when you can do all of those, people be drawn to you.
Yeah.
It's magnetic genuinely because there's a sense of like this is a strong person, man. Like I want to be around whatever fire they're around.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the 4?
Yeah.
Motivator, leader,
So
friend.
it's motivator, innovator, leader, friend. How about order we want to put it up?
Can you say it faster?
I can't. I can tell there's a problem on stage sometimes.
Got it.
Amplify.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. He's done this once or twice. And so it was either you or her that made the comment about like, you know, you're so confident. And I'm like, I honestly have zero focus on, and I told Anthony this, maybe this is helpful because you had a frame that works for you in terms of like, look, he said to her, like, find the parts of yourself that like you do like and then amplify that. I'm with you if that works. For me, that never fucking worked because I was always like, yeah, that's cool, but I also fucking massively suck over here. And that like was always the louder voice for me, no matter how many fucking affirmations I did, you know? And so for me, I'm just like, instead of trying to be like amplify my confidence, I just basically like present all of the flaws openly. I did the Eminem strategy. Now, the actual end result of that is it's like, wow, this guy's confident in himself. I'm just like, I'm just not trying to be anything different. I'm not trying to manufacture anything. I'm just letting you know, like, I curse. I ramble way too long most of the time everywhere. I circle around from different topics and shit, like, you know, but I'm also not going to change that. So if that's not cool with you, totally get it. Fine. Just letting you know. And y'all are here, and y'all knew that from day one, right? And so it's like, well, you would think if you polled people, it's like, there's a guy who curses rambles and never really finishes one topic at a time? Do you bet on him that he's a successful leader guy? Most of you'd be like, somehow here we are, right? So what I'm doing is, if I'm all of you, is like whatever it is that are these obstacles that are that you think are in your way of like, why can't you just go out and let it all hang loose and just be you out there? Lean hard into all of those things and bring them to the surface. Do it in, obviously, like we talked about yesterday, use some fucking discernment, use some common goddamn sense, right? Don't do anything that makes you look worse in terms of like, I don't know what I'm doing at all in this area. Like, no. But within the common sense boundaries, just set it up in a way to where you can just be you. And that ends up being pretty fucking fun. Because and when you do that, you can get away with everything. I use the example with Andreas, like, he's a fucking well-respected doctor, for fuck's sake, okay? This guy walks in late yesterday. I completely destroy him, make fun of him, and call him out with really no apology. And here he is, he's smiling, enjoying his time here, and holy shit. But most people would be like, oh, we have doctors and important, successful people here, we gotta fucking... I better be this way now. You're fucked. And this is why, Justin, like, you grow to hate your business is because and anybody, myself included, is why I grew to hate my business, is we started onboarding the wrong people, right? Because in my content, I said what I thought I needed to say in the way that I thought I needed to say it, much more buttoned up, if you will. So then we get people that attracts. They come in and they're like, wait a minute, you curse more than I thought. Like, this is too abrasive. I love your stuff, but it's like, you just need to stop swearing and talk too long and shit. And I'm like, okay. At the time, I took that as I better fix that and stop swearing and cut out curse words and really be mindful of my points, and I wanted to very quickly shoot myself and all of them, right? And that's what makes it unsustainable. So I said, for this variation of this business, I know, first of all, this is, in my opinion, still the best vehicle to make money in a way that doesn't suck so bad. So that being the case, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it sustainably, my new rule for this iteration of this company was, I'm primarily building this for me, secondarily building this for you. But as soon as I put your needs above mine, I'm fucked. And that's very counterintuitive because, the customer's always right, build, even they'll find out what they want, go ahead and get it and give it to them rule. It violates that. But I said, here's what I'm not going to do is compromise and be in a room with people or even on a single call with somebody and feel like I have to manufacture what you need to see based on whatever preconceived rules I think are there. That is draining. I'm very good at it, which is also a problem because it's easy to then go into that mode. I'm good at that. It drains 10 times more energy per hour than just me being able to fuck around. Yeah.
I think you have a really good point with that because, as last year I had a media buyer and all kinds of different leads through, so I was kind of that, what you were saying, like, oh, do I say this or don't say this, please everybody. And once I took back over media buying based off our conversation, started seeing the leads come through, and there was one lady, she replied, she like booked a call and then canceled, and I reached out, I was like, hey, what happened? She's like, well, I thought about it, and like, you just have a lot of masculine energy. I don't know if I'm really looking for that. And like, I started thinking about like a way to reply, like, oh, say this. And I was like, you know what, fuck that. Like, I'm glad I have masculine.
Yeah.
And I was okay, best of luck.
Yep.
It's like, to your point, like, if I'm trying to please everybody, it's like the amount of energy and time into trying to think about how to please somebody else is draining as well.
And not only are you not pleasing them, but it's the ultimate suppression of your own greatness.
Yeah, true.
It's the ultimate invalidation of yourself. It's literally, you're using your creative power to decide yourself down into the fucking red zone. It's fucked up. It serves no one. It is scary because, yes, you are going to repel people, but you need to be polarizing because if you don't have anybody who hates you, you don't have anybody who loves you.
In my world, you get sued, and that's part of why you cannot be flashy on social media.
Well, the good news is, good luck on those lawsuits. What, are you gonna sue me because I said fuck on social media once? Fuck you. Go ahead. I want to see your attorney's face when he sees your suggested lawsuit.
I'm saying, like, if you're showing, like, wealth online, like, you're really fucked in our world. Like, as soon as someone thinks you have some money to your name, you get fucked.
Yeah, and good. That's another reason is to here's like, regardless of my personal collection of awesome shit, it's also against the law for me to use that in my marketing. And so I like to continue to be in business for a minute. So if it's all right with you, I'm going to keep my 76 exotic cars locked up in my big old fat fuck garage, you know, next to my jet. Yes, I have a garage for my jet. Or maybe I don't. Fuck you. That's not what this video is about. We're talking about this now. You know, whatever. I digress. So you have to build the thing so that you can sustainably do what's required, and that is show up as you. If you're showing up as somebody else, it might work temporarily. I proved that it can work for a while. I made a lot of fucking money, millions of dollars, showing up as a gradually deteriorated version of who I actually am. It will catch up with you. You will hate it, and you will want to fucking shoot everyone. Okay, so to avoid that, let's decide that we're gonna build this shit so that we give ourselves full permission to just be ourselves and have fucking fun. And yeah, but fuck that. Lean into it. Call it out yourself.
That should be a daily reminder.
Yeah, great. Victor, make that a daily reminder in the content protocol and all that shit.
How did you build the muscle of I don't give a shit what other people think about?
Getting exhausted of years over years of caring so much about what people think about me that I literally had no energy left to do that anymore. I wouldn't recommend that as the strategy, but that's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
Is keeping the front going. It catches up to you. It will. I'm good at enduring pain. Pain tolerance is one of my skills. And I say that seriously. I can genuinely endure fucked up shit for a while. Most specifically, psychological fucked up shit. I'm not necessarily like Navy SEAL fucking Hell Week shit, which you could argue is psychological. But my point is like I'm good at compartmentalizing to a fault. And I can endure a lot. That makes it also to where like it takes a lot for something to get bad enough for me to change something. So I have to proactively A, understand that about myself, B, get out ahead of that because I know I will live in hell for a decade and I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, cool. It's my German ancestors, you know?
There's a bit of like buy or don't buy, I'm okay. Like when you're not beholden to the sale and you know your people are gonna come to you anyway.
Yeah.
It's very freeing.
It is. It's scary to start though, and like even to be honest, like it's scary to continue. Because like now it's, you know, first you're afraid you're not going to get it. Then when you get it, you're afraid you're going to, right? So if you got something and you're like, whoa, what if I start making that type of content now? I'm going to like eliminate most of my, like, what if my clients hate me? It's like, well, either you optimize for keeping clients that don't like the real you, or you fucking change now. And I'm not saying do it as a bucket of cold water, but like some, you know, even make an announcement like, hey, full disclosure, I have been withholding a large part of what I believe to be my best qualities because of beliefs that I've had about how you will interpret it. I do not have the energy to sustain that for a long period of time. Maybe you resonate with that. Maybe you have areas of your life where you're showing up as somebody that isn't really you because of what you think others may think. Here's a fucking hint. Every human being on the planet is dealing with the same fucking thing in some way. So that's good news. They will be like, oh, finally, somebody said something about this. Thank God we can finally take our ties off. Jesus Christ, I was only wearing mine because you had yours on, right? That's how people think. Letting you know. Everybody is waiting for permission to chill the fuck out. Somebody's got to go first. I'm trying to do that for you and be the example that you sure can be an unprepared lunatic who curses and still run a successful mastermind. Right? So, yes, sure, there's lots of subs to that, but that is what's happening right now, live. Tune in. So, even if I just shut up right now, how many of you guys already have more than you think enough to where you could probably take a decent step in the right direction here by show of hands? Yeah, cool. So, okay, so 3, build for you, not them. Here, check this out. Watch this. Watch this. All right, YouTube thumbnail. All right. So, if we have these 3 things in place, now it's a matter of just fucking do it. Just do it in a way that's fun and sustainable for you. In a way that makes you feel like, oh, well, I had just had to do that. I could do that. That's what it should feel like. It still might not be like I wake up in the morning, spring out of bed and can't wait to do it. Now, I'm not there. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. I don't feel that way. But when it comes down to like, I know I need to do this shit. Why does it feel heavy? Oh, because I'm thinking I got to do it in a certain way. Just have some fucking fun. Take a few drinks if you need to, right? Do whatever you got to fucking do. Just make it fun for yourself. Whatever you got to do to simultaneously have fun, but also the intention part of that is, look, I'm not here just to fuck around. I'm still going to we're still going to get into it, and we're still going to get you from A to B, or I'm going to do my best. I'm just going to have a little bit more fun today while we do this, right? So just letting you know you have options. But the most important thing is that you're doing something to have more fucking fun while you do it. What do I have to do to make this as fun as possible? And as long as you don't put limits like, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. If you put no rules, this is the reason this is number 2 and not number 1. You can see what would happen, a big problem if we swapped these in terms of the hierarchy. As long as this one stays in place, you can get away with a lot, you see? You can get away with almost anything as long as this is in place, okay? So for you, don't put limits on what number 2 is for you, as long as number 1 doesn't go away. You guys good with that? Okay, so from there, everything, if you're thinking about competitors or you're thinking about traits that you have or shortcomings or whatever it is, lean in. Now, I would say, like, you know, if you're living in a spare bedroom in your in-laws' place and you're like on your last dollar, don't say that. But what you can do is call out the fact that, like, you might be wondering why I don't look like I'm in a fucking podcast studio. Well, right now, I am staying at our in-laws while we have our new living situation figured out. That's true. That's acceptable. Rich people do that too. That's okay. We're in a spare bedroom right now, and I had 2 options. Wait until everything's perfect so to make sure that you only see me in perfect situations, or I could be like, look, you need to know this shit. I said I was going to show up for you. I'm showing up for you. If you need my lighting to be better and my sound to be better, cool. Wait until the next fucking video comes out or watch this one. But in this one, we're going to cover this on how to get you from point A to point B without obstacle. If that's cool for you, great. Tell you what, just listen to this. Just listen to it. Don't watch me if you think I'm ugly or whatever, right? Lean into it. That's okay, but don't do anything that like is a complete status destroyer, but just call out the things that they will be thinking and just be ruthless from their perspective, whatever that is, right? And then just call those out and lean into it. I don't know how else to like create, I don't have like a specific set of rules around that, but just like, you know, have fun making fun of yourself. And then contrast that against whatever it is that you think they need to see and shit on that. Shit on the guys with the fucking Lambos and, you know, make fun of it as a dick measuring contest and then relate that back to why you're the actual person who cares. You're not in this business to show everybody. I said with her, I'm like, if you need to be in real estate investment to like, you know, have a dick measuring contest, I don't know if you noticed, I don't have one. So you don't have to worry about that here. You know, like just stuff like that. Like people be like, wow, I like this chick, right? I already like it just in concept. I'm like, I feel that. And then when I started saying that, I watched her like lighten up. She started laughing, smiling. And I'm like, yeah, let that German bitch come out. Yeah, see that right there. That little, oh, possibly. Yeah. No, like lean into that shit. Because the only reason you wouldn't be in this room if there weren't those traits that you were trying to somehow get out. All of you want a little bit more fuck you, I don't care. And you've actively said that. Great. Give yourself permission. The right people will love it. The wrong people will hate it. Purge them. Bye. Here's who I am. I've been lying to you in the sense that I haven't presented the full real me. I've presented my quote unquote expertise and I've said all the right things and I've built all this stuff. But it's fucking exhausting not being able to talk to you like a real goddamn human. And I'm quite frankly, I can't do it anymore. So I have 2 options. Shut my entire life down, or we talk to each other like goddamn human beings. What would you prefer I do? Continue to fake it like probably you are and everything that you're doing? Or be an example and give you permission of what happens when you can actually just be yourself? I'm a B. The second one. I'm going to do the second one. Yeah. All right, cool. Samesies. So let's move forward like that. People will be like, oh, thank God. I'm glad you said something. right? How many of you guys feel a bit of a sense of relief now that I'm at least giving you hypothetical permission to do this by a show of hands? Yeah, cool. That's a sign. Relief means you move from heavy zone to a little bit lighter zone. Doesn't mean it's not going to be uncomfortable and or scary when you feel like, I don't know if I could post that. Like, that's exactly what you should fucking post. That's exactly what you should fucking post. You should feel slightly irresponsible at all times. Controlled irresponsibility, right? But I use the example. She's like, how am I supposed to compete with these guys with the fucking, you know, basically the Cardones of the world, to loop it all in as an example that y'all are familiar with. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm in direct competition with Alex Hormozy. Somehow you're sitting here instead of a fucking building in Vegas right now. How'd I do that? Why are you here? How come you're not in fucking Vegas with Hormozy right now? Why are you here? Answer that question. Why?
I want more of your fuck you energy.
But Hormozy has fuck you energy, doesn't he?
I connected with you a lot more.
In what way?
The mindset stuff, the Teddy dashboard, like you're strong where I'm weak, and
That's like a song.
I feel like I'm expressing my love to you right now.
Love you too, buddy.
It just made
Wait,
sense.
do I complete you? So all of you have, despite the fact that there's more flex-worthy fuckers that you could be in their room right now, you're here. Y'all have your own individual reasons for that. I care what they are, but I also don't care what they are because it's just me being me. I don't have to like think about it or try to hope I continue to be me or worry about wondering whether or not I'll be able to be me anymore in a way that you need me to be me. Like I don't need to do that. So I just do me, and you're either here or you're not, and if you're here, great. If you're not, great. Like I'm not going to chameleon myself to try to like keep you here. I'm just going to be me. I'm also going to evolve. And so if new version of me is not what you like, there's a whole group of people that resonated with fake John when I was putting on the front that was exhausting for me, that was basically me showing up, playing a role. All those people mass exodus out of my universe. And some of them actively reached out to me expressing their displeasure. Bye. Sorry. Clear fucking charge on it. Or don't. But I'm not going to modify myself to cater to you and your stupid universe. And it makes everything way easier. So then all I have to do is show up and do what I'm doing here, right? And it works out because this is in place and this is in place. Because I've built this thing for me. I built this so I could hang out with people and be myself, and we could fuck around and find out. That's how I built this thing. That's the only way that it's sustainable for me, and I have a strong hypothesis that that's the only way that's sustainable for anybody. Yeah?
The whole night last night, we were just saying, dude, we just keep fucking around, we keep finding out more. We said that probably till like 2 a.m. last night.
Yeah.
So
That's the only way to find out.
Yeah.
Fuck around.
John, one of the things I admire about you, I've been watching you since your ad,
Yeah.
is you don't take yourself seriously like I do. Like I think I take myself way too seriously. Like when I was sharing with you guys, I was doing my video late at night. I got a lazy eye. After 8, this eye is having a party and none of you guys are invited.
Nice.
And I hate doing videos at night. I'm like, hey, fucking in this video, my eye is having a party.
Yeah.
And he's like, just not taking yourself so seriously is what really resonates.
Yeah, for you need some sort of like, I got one eye on you and one eye on this over
That,
here, whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to serve my clients way better. You're hiring people that can only look in one fucking direction. I'm omnidirectional, bro. Get with the fucking times, dude. You can only look in one direction at a time. Weak. You're ill-equipped for the future. Yeah, just lean into that shit. Yeah, whatever it is, right? Absolutely just lean into it. And again, with discernment so that it doesn't completely status degrade you. It should be like the surface level nitpicky stupid bullshit, right? So I get it that everybody, everybody's like, not everybody has flex worthy stuff. I get it. That's not also everybody's brand and shit. And so if that's not your thing, don't think that you need to compete with people, because there's plenty of people that's not their thing either, but they still want the result that you help provide, right? So it's just like, just cause the people who get the views and some people that get the views and whatever have that stuff, don't get lulled into thinking that's the only thing. Now, to be clear, and be very fair, there are biases that should at least be considered as we decide what we want to do. Like, I'm very aware that it doesn't hurt that when I show cool shit that obviously costs money to do, I know that costs money to do. That must mean he makes money. That must mean what he says produces some result, right? So it like, don't sleep on that, but it also don't make that a prerequisite or barrier to entry to function, okay? Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
Like, flex the best flex you can flex, and sometimes that's nothing. But also flex it with context, right? In a way that's in alignment that, like, kind of throws throws shit at whatever you think the competitor is doing or whatever you see them doing. And that's, to be clear, to be polarizing. All you're really doing, even if forget the visual lifestyle flexing for a second and forget flexing at all for a second, that's only one method of influence, is demonstration and just visual representation of the result. Okay, and for you specifically, Josephine, what you can do is you just find your competitors that you like. 'Cause it's clear that there's at least some level of disdain for those people with the fleets of supercars. Is that a fair assessment of kind of fuck those people a little bit?
I've had some members of mine comment on it and like basically kind of they were infatuated with it.
Yeah.
And the issue with it is that I see personally that there's a huge risk to all of that. So for me, the car world is truly right now my biggest competition because it's so flash constantly.
Yeah, but so I understand that, but to be just yes or no, is there a slight level of disdain there for those types of people, that the flashy supercar people world?
I don't know if it really is this. I don't know, because like I think it works. Like that's the thing, right?
Okay,
now,
fair enough.
To a certain extent.
I'm gonna say, based on my read, whatever words you want to put on it or not, the way that it's been brought up and talk, what's true for you is true. But I'll just illustrate this as an example. Let's assume for a fact there was a level of disdain. All of you have competitor. How many of you guys have competitors that you're looking at them and you're just kind of like, fuck you a little bit? Great, thank you. That's all we're looking for here. So instead of calling them out by name directly, that's a no-no. Don't do that. Never drag somebody deliberately through the mud publicly. It's not a good fucking look. Okay, it doesn't exactly, it just makes you look like a piece of shit. It's not a classy move. I don't think that works very well in my opinion, and if it does, it'll work with all the people that are also antagonistic lunatics. Okay, so what you can do is drag the behavior through the mud. So I can look at a competitor and let's say I disagree with something that they say, like as an example, the people who are preaching like, you know, the just tactics are the only thing you need, basically, or like the webinar is the answer. I don't need to call them out by name. You know who I'm talking about just by the ads that you get served. Great. And to be clear, like I know some of you, that's your thing. That's fine. I'm not shitting on you. I'm saying this is a tactical marketing angle decision. It doesn't mean it's an accurate representation of my thoughts and feelings and considerations on all of that. It's a polarizing angle that I can just find something and shit on it. So if I can shit on the behavior, I can say that way sucks, here's why, here's what I believe. So it's what do you stand for and what do you stand against. There's a whole training in the fucking portal. I think it's in the lead section or something like that. That's like I don't know, something about branding superpowers or positioning or something like that. What the fuck is it called? You guys know what I'm referring to? The one that I'm explaining it really well, I know. Please stop with the accolades. I think it's here, but I could be wrong. Raving fan formula. Let's look at this real quick. How many of you guys want raving fans? By a show of hands. Oh my God, amazing. So if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. All right. So, what are we against? For me, it's pretty clear that I'm against stupidity, rules, what the masses do, mandates, ignorance, laziness, making dumb decisions, propaganda, you know, all this shit. People who don't help themselves, people who say they want success but do the opposite, getting caught up in software. Like, I've identified, like, here's what I throw stones at. So anybody that's doing this, I don't call them out by name. I just shit on, and if I shit on this and you're like, yeah, fuck that, that must mean that we're on the same team. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we develop a common enemy and we fight against it together. Now here's, what are we for? Great. What are the principles that I've got, right? Who are the actual enemies, right? Mass media, socialists, normal people, the school system, ignorant people, right? You could say short-term thinking, quick win, fucking instant gratification fuckers. They're gonna be poor. That's what they're gonna be. How do you know? Is because if you look at all of them, people who think that way are poor. I didn't make it up. It's not a stance. It's a fact. That makes it pretty easy to shit on and defend. You see that? Like, so you need to develop this for you. What are you shitting on? So this is, you can shit on tactics, you can shit on strategies, you can shit on content types, you can shit on anything. Just find something that you fucking don't like and just shit all over it. That's all you gotta do. Now, simultaneously, you know, what are you for, right? More of this, applaud that, shit on this. That's literally polarizing. So the same poles that create the mind, the infatuation, the positives and the negatives, we use those buttons in marketing rather than have those buttons use us. That's the deal here, right? So once you're out in that blue zone, now we're the puppet master. We push the green button occasionally, we push the red button occasionally, and we get the people that are having those buttons pushed to scurry around and change their behavior and shit. Most people are doing all of that reactively and getting their own buttons pushed reactively and being, you know, a victim of that mechanism. But now that we understand that, like, look, when whether it's, you know, we were talking about Dan Henry and you know, anybody who's like a really good marketer, you just got to understand that they're very deliberately just stirring the pot. They're pushing the right buttons. They know what buttons to push. That doesn't mean what they put into the void that creates is the right thing. That just means they're doing that mechanism. So you just got to observe it from the standpoint of like, oh, that's an interesting angle, and you can't be personally like offended or whatever. Like Dan Henry has shit deliberately on things that like, and I wouldn't say like me directly saying it, but like he'll make fun of like mindset coaches, right? I could be like, is he talking about me? Like, no, he's a fucking professional marketer and he's trying to get a rise out of people by pressing a fucking button. If I'm personally offended by that or feel victimized by that, first of all, he's not sitting there thinking about me during his fucking marketing all the time. That's a stupid egotistical assumption that nobody's thinking about you. That's also part of the fucking problem, okay? If you think they're thinking about you, you're too much focused on that rather than creating content. Like, they're not thinking about you, and that's the fucking problem. To make them think about you, you got to press buttons. You got to do it deliberately and understand you got to play the game. So most people who are a quote-unquote mindset coach would feel personally, you know, attacked by Dan Henry saying, fucking mindset coach, whatever the fuck he does, right? In his own, in only the way that he can do. But if you understand what the fuck he's doing, it's just like, oh, it's a nice angle. I appreciate that. You know, that's a solid dig. Nice job. You know, like, I see how that, I feel you on the truth on that, bro. Right? I respect the game. That's the game that we need to be playing. And so the card that you're playing is just the card that you play. It doesn't really mean much aside from you got to know what buttons to push, when to push them, and be okay with pushing them. So your market, your target avatar has those buttons. Great. What are they believing right now that they think is the thing that your competitors may be marketing? Great. Build a case as to why that's bullshit. No, it may or may not be. Here's the thing. All strategies and tactics and all that, it all works. So, oh, webinars are dead. This is dead. Fucking calls are dead. Like, none of it's dead. Those are angles. It's not to be taken seriously. The truth is, if you get enough people bought into you, it wouldn't matter what tactic or mechanism you use to convert. They all work. So the marketing that says it's dead, it's not dead, it's a fucking angle. It's a marketing angle, it's not the truth. Now, they probably have really compelling reasons that back that up, that make you think maybe this one's different, right? Everybody always thinks this one's different. That's by design. It's designed to make you think that this one's different. It's not. There's fundamentals that make it all work. The little angles of the buttons that these guys push, myself included, are what make it actually effective, no matter what conversion mechanism. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah. That's the game as I see it right now, and I don't see how that could possibly change. So we need to proactively find, even if you don't have like an active hatred, put the hate hat on and fucking throw some shade at something. You know, like, I do it from a perspective of like, cool, y'all are working really fucking hard on all the wrong shit. Here's how I know. You don't have the results that you want, and you're making decisions based on how you feel. Here's how I know. You think you're tracking, you think you're making data-driven decisions. If you were, your business would be, if you were doing it correctly, that's the only thing that could happen. So if you think that anybody selling, I was shitting on the vibe thing, remember that? You were like, yeah, fuck. Like, there's people that are promoting and preaching the whole like, yeah, you don't need to track. Like, I'm not a tracking type of a person, and here's proof that you can make millions of dollars without knowing your numbers. I'm proof of that. It's like, that's awesome. That is terrible business advice, and it caters to people who don't want to do anything, and you attract the worst fucking people. And I'm just like, that's retarded. I respect the angle though, from a marketing perspective. Mad props. That's awesome for you. Unfortunately, that Like there's not a single successful business long term that just vibes their way forward. Like imagine S&P 500 listed company, quarterly board meeting. We're one of those vibe companies. Let's see your numbers. We don't do that. How many of you guys would buy that stock? That's how you know. Why wouldn't you buy that stock, Jason?
Because there is no data to know if
Why is that important, Jason? Risk? Why is it risky? Well, which is vibe, man. Why is it risky?
unless you vibe with it.
Why is it risky though?
What you're doing, where you're going, how to get there.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we might as well. That makes all the sense in the world. So it's like there's certain fundamentals that just, I don't care what angle, but like if you understand the fundamentals, you can easily now spot what's an angle that is meant for short-term sales and wins and shit, and what's actually something that withstands the test of time that's sustainable. If you don't know the difference, you'll fall for the fucking bullshit thing every time. And then you'll get really disappointed. You'll be the one who wastes their money, and they'll be the one who got you with their angle. So as our boy Dan Henry has said, at least recently that I've heard him say again, is people don't buy the best offer, they buy the offer that sounds the best. And so it's matching the offer that sounds the best with an actual good back-end product. So the only difference between a good entrepreneur and a con man is a good back-end product, right? And so it might sound the best, but you still have to deliver after it sounds the best. Otherwise, you'll have a whole bunch of refunds, backs, yada, yada, yada. But you just got to understand that that's the game that we're playing, and you have to manufacture these angles. So whatever it is, how many of you guys have something that a competitor is doing that you disagree with, by show of hands? Good. Colin, what's something that a competitor is doing that you disagree with?
Trying to put it in a way that you don't have to understand like my niche.
You do credit and shit. What are they doing that sucks?
Well, they act like you can get approvals even if your personal credit is shit.
And why is that bullshit?
Because it's not true.
Okay, and what is their justification as to why they believe that that's true?
How they justify it.
What's their explanation? You don't need it because, or they just tell you blindly without any supporting evidence?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Just lie about the results.
Cool. So hey, my name's Colin, and we do credit shit for target audience. One thing that I'm seeing though, and if you're, looking for business funding solutions, one thing that I'm seeing that, regardless of whether you work with me or not, public service announcement. There are people out there that are telling you that even if you have shitty credit, like what score?
Anything under 700.
If you have less than a 700 credit score, you can get how much in funding is being promised? 100K in funding with a credit score less than 700K. Let me tell you right now that is not true. I wish it was too, but it's fucking not. Let me walk you through. Here's why. So this, and this. Hope that was valuable and hope that saves you some fucking time and money. Get your credit repaired before you go get some fucking funding. And then that could be it. And they could be like, well, do you do any sort of credit repair? I forget. No? Okay. Do you have like a referral partner of any kind where you can refer to credit repair?
Talk to them if they need credit repair.
Okay, great, fine. So now to be clear, we don't do credit repair. We only do funding. I don't even have any good referral sources, but I'm just letting you know because I'm seeing this too much and people are getting their asses handed to them and it's a massive liability. It's actually also illegal. So I wish it was true too. Feel free to like shit test this, but don't be surprised if you've wasted a lot of time and money, trying to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in fucking funding with shitty credit. That's a pipe dream. They're selling you fucking air and it's stupid and I just had to say something about it. Great, right? Like that could be a little fucking thing. Or you could do a whole long form explaining every single reason as to why that's bullshit with supporting evidence, and that could be a 20-minute video.
I got YouTube videos like
Yeah. Cool. So I just figured just as a live example, right? So it's like just look at the stuff that you fucking hate and just shit on it. That was an example that I just completely made up off the top of the dome. Or behavior, or things that people say, or what are the lies that are being sold to you? Here's why those, this is part of the propaganda machine ethical manipulation framework. It's like what lies do they currently believe? Let's debunk them all. What are the myths, right? And so that largely like in like my business blueprint where I talk about the, you're wanting to be 100K a month. You want to be in the top 0.001% and you want to be, that's master level income. Takes 10,000 hours to master something. You need to master all areas of business to be a master of business. That's 10,000 hours per area. And you're 4 months into this fucking thing and wondering why you're not making gobs of money. That's retarded. And you need to stop that shit now. You need to readjust your expectations now. Anybody who tells you that you can bypass this is fucking stupid and they're lying to you and they're trying to tell you something, or sell you something. If you need to ignore this message and hope that there's something the grass is greener on the other side, have at it. Just don't be surprised when you come back after wasting tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to be like, yeah, you were right, Teo, Justin, right?
It happens.
It does happen.
You live and you learn.
And you live, sometimes people learn, sometimes they don't. But so the idea is like, that's a polarizing stance that I've taken that with, just basically just tells it like it is and gets people to see fucking reality and warning them against the common enemy of the lying gurus, right? So I think, what is it? People will do anything, what is it from Expert Secrets? People will do anything for anyone who lays their fears, justifies.
Throws rocks at their enemies.
Yep, there's one more.
It's like encourages their dreams.
Encourages their dreams.
We patch it together.
Encourages their dreams, justifies their failures,
The one sentence persuasion book.
allays their fears, yep, and what was it? Throws rocks at their enemies. So I have done that with you guys. I've allayed your fears, I've thrown rocks at your enemies, I've justified your failures. Nobody taught you this shit, nobody taught you business skills. Here's why. They didn't have any either. If they did, they'd have taught you. They had marketing skills. Marketing is one department of a business. Marketing skills does not mean business skills. Marketers make a lot of money, don't keep much of it, and don't do much of it sustainably. They're good at marketing, but that's why they keep launching new offer, because they're only have one skill set, marketing. They have no business skill set because they're afraid of numbers. Yet they might preach data-driven, but if you see people constantly pivoting around and doing random bullshit, they don't have business skills, they got marketing skills. Some people can do that well enough to where they don't need very many business skills. All they need is really legendary marketing skills. I know people like that. They are unicorns. Do not try to duplicate them. I cannot, and I consider myself relatively able. I'm not that good. Not to say that you're worse than me. I'm just saying that's a high-risk endeavor to try to only get away with good marketing skills and ignore everything else. It's very high risk. So anyway, that's why you guys are still here, is because I've kind of done those things. Yeah, Nick.
You said yesterday something along the lines of, there's a difference between all of this, being yourself, polarizing, and then shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
And something that I've hesitated to take on a competitor, I guess, if you will. I work with guys on sober performance.
Yeah.
And is a competitor.
So you mean you shouldn't drink before you do content?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not gonna be a strategy.
All right, fine.
But I've hesitated to take on or throw shade towards such a large organization that has millions of people that they've helped. And
Don't throw shade at the organization, throw shade at the behavior
Okay.
and the mechanism. Let people guess who you're referring to, but don't ever confirm.
Okay. For example, the first of the 12 steps is to admit that you're powerless over alcohol. I completely disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I could talk about that philosophy and make it
Yeah.
connected to it.
Yeah, here's why 12 steps doesn't work. In fact, there's no defined number of steps because everybody's in their own unique situation. And it sounds cool on a bumper sticker. It sounds cool on a pamphlet. It sounds doable. Practically though, it doesn't work, and here's why. In this video, I'm gonna completely destroy the 12 steps or 14 steps or 8 steps or 3 steps. Fuck the steps. Right? And if you really don't want to touch, you're fine with the 12-step thing. Shit on 12 steps. And every single step individually, That's 12 videos right there. 13, actually, One video shitting on the whole system, and each one subsequent shits on each step. That's a YouTube series and a playlist right there. Destroying all of the myths of the 12-step system and why it doesn't actually work, and it's actually a system. Do they charge you money and shit for all of that? It's free? Yeah. And so then I would shit on that. It's like, you might think free is better, but here's the problem. With free, you're not invested. You don't have any skin in the game. You can easily just not show up and there's no consequences. Shit on free, which here's why the more I charge my clients a lot of money. The primary reason for that is because now they have commitment and skin in the game. The steps that follow that, if you paid me $1 million, which to be clear, I charge a little less than that. But if you paid me $1 million, I bet you'd fucking get sober. You'd get your return on investment. If you paid me $1, you'd be like, I really don't fucking care. That's why I charge my clients a lot of money, and why free programs, although nice and cute and charitable, gosh darn it, you're a good person. It sounds great on a newspaper headline for, the charitable organizations. In practice, and is that a charitable organization that runs that if it's free? It must be. A nonprofit. So it's a nonprofit. So here's how nonprofits actually run. And if you actually go through and find out the answer to that, you destroy if you can destroy the model itself, you destroy the credibility of the organization. So do you guys know how charities run? They're basically most of the money that anybody donates does not go to the cause.
Goes to them.
It's a tax haven for the most part. It's a tax vehicle, okay? And most of the money that gets donated does not go to the actual cause. But they take all the little pictures with the kids and the animals or whatever the fuck it is. Or the sober motherfuckers, right, that are probably not actually sober. They're going to start drinking the next day just for the headline and the proof. It's a fucking facade.
I'm gonna think of it, they pass a basket around the room and take a collection.
There you go, right? So break, right? Like there's so many, like once you start, like you got to think a little diabolical and shit. You know, you got to be polarizing, you got to be a little edgy, right? But if I can completely destroy the credibility behind the vehicle and I can really definitively prove it, which by the way, you can completely discredit anyone. Like it's possible to create a case against anyone or anything or any behavior. You just have to think like an attorney. And if your job, if let's say you got paid $1 billion to completely have an airtight case to discredit a competitor, a methodology, an industry, an ecosystem, whatever it is, guess what? You can do that, and you have AI to help you build that airtight case, and you make it to where it's impossible for somebody to have a counter argument that holds any fucking merit. And the more that you can actually destroy your own case, the better counter case you can build for yourself. That's why I shoot holes in everything that I do. I know all the counter arguments as to why I suck. I know all of them, which is why I patch all of those holes and I make it to where it's really tough to make that case stick. But I can create the case. I know all the counter arguments as to why everything I'm saying is bullshit. They all exist. It just depends on what angle do you want to. So you have to be flexible in your ability to take on viewpoints and compartmentalize that and not see that as like a big risk of like, oh no, if I'm discrediting myself, then I'll stop believing in myself. And like, no. Don't go there with it. Use it tactically, objectively. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's like what Mosey says, if you're the big guy in the market, say that you have all the experience working with people. If you're the little guy in the market, then say that they have no personalization and they're wrong for that because they can't serve you in a one-on-one manner. So
And that's true.
just flipping angles.
Yes, that's all it is. This whole thing is angles, okay? So we're past time now, but hopefully, was that a decent way of spending in the afternoon? I realized it was kind of weird, but was that helpful? What was a couple takeaways that you guys got from the afternoon? Yeah.
Just say fuck it, be yourself, and if they got a problem with it, fuck them.
There you go.
Let's go.
My dog. I like that. Nice. Who else? Let's get one or two more.
A reminder of like just the spirit of play.
Yeah.
Having fun. It's like when you like get into the routine of content creation, it becomes like a task,
Yeah.
and sometimes the fun gets stripped out of that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I hesitate so much, because I feel it's a task versus making it
Yeah.
full and fun.
Yeah. Just fuck around. Like all of you are like dying to get that part of you out. I can feel it. That's why you're in this room, right? So you have permission now. Go get it out. Do that. It's going to feel really uncomfortable and you're probably going to hate it. Good. It's working. Who else? Let me get one or two more.
We're too concerned about caring about people that are not going to show up in a funeral. We're just trying to just way too much.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah. Nice. Who else? Anybody over there?
I love the flow of the words in the middle of that board. I mean, to be innovative about something and then to motivate somebody to follow you, and if they're not your friend, fuck 'em.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. By you, Camila,
Keep picking on me.
because you're quiet.
Yeah, I mean, just fuck up, I guess.
All right. Good.
I'd say polarizing is a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that in a different way of some kind?
I mean, I've seen content,
Me too.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like wants to please people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That one got me. Yeah. I've seen content before.
Well, polarizing content.
Oh, yeah. Once or twice. It was one time I saw content. It was close. Did you guys see it too?
They're only 7%. The energy is what gets transferred, and the intention is what gets felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Words are only 7%. That's 7.
No, I mean, I didn't fucking do this case study, but, like, allegedly.
Energy is what gets transferred, and the intention is what gets felt.
Yeah. That's solid. I like that. Yeah. Liz.
Do you have a lot of other marketers that don't like you? Since you're like very, which I like, but like do you have a lot of people that
Not
hate you?
publicly, because they know that when it comes down to it, I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
So they'll know that if they start throwing shit at me, all that's under the surface of me, despite whatever this is, underneath that is, look, what works for you, as long as it follows business principles that don't change no matter what. I teach business principles that don't change no matter what. If marketers hate that, that's stupid and myopic, and they can go ahead and hate. I will destroy them. Absolutely destroy them, because the foundation of what they're standing on is based on nothing. If it came to a debate or something like that, and they were like, no, marketing. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, unfortunately, there's no substance under that, and it's built on a house of cards. So I'm not married to like, my method is get people to know, like, and trust you through frequency and getting them to spend time on brand and have fucking fun doing it. And the conversion mechanism matters way less. And as long as you're doing that only talking to your perfect client, it becomes really challenging to not attract and retain them.
It's working.
You know what I mean? So like, that's my method. I don't care, like, everybody in this room runs some different acquisition process. Like, I know that if you add retargeting, your frequency goes up and their time on brand goes up, which increases the ability of setters and closers to do their fucking job. So do that or don't. But if you don't, how else are you gonna get the 7 out? Like, you know, hope the algorithm does it, I guess. I mean,
I think talking to you, I realized I kind of want to go after, not publicly saying it, but saying it like all these other marketing agencies that work with contractors, they just use still image graphics and they use the same AI generated character for every single contracting business. But I don't know if I want to open up that box and, you know, start that.
if it's a thing that's impeding the sale, do it. If it's not, don't introduce an objection that they're not thinking of already. Like, I would only do it if, like, that was an obvious sticking point for your prospects and somehow it was preventing them from buying.
Like last week I got a sell from that. I just did a green screen talking about a shit track company, and the HVAC company I talked an hour before, that was one of the ex-owners of that company, and they bought into this HVAC company. It's like, hey, since we were talking shit about that HVAC company, that's our old boss's company, and we wanted to go with you because we want to like take their soul. So, but that's just one instance, so that's why I was like,
Because we do similar thing.
Yeah.
We get the same thing. A lot of people will come to me and they're like, oh, in the past with my marketing, I've just gotten shit leads. And I use that as an anchor point, like, yeah, because you were running shit great. Like, this is what we do differently. And then people are like, oh, that's...
Yeah, and then you can shit on, like, make a fucking lot of content on here's what shit creative is and here's how to spot a shitty marketing agency. You know, warning. Here's how to 10 warning signs that you're about to hire the worst fucking agency ever.
Can I make a topic request for tomorrow?
Yeah.
You use that quote, the only difference between a conman and a salesman is a killer back-end product.
Yeah, something like that.
Can we spend a little time talking about what makes a killer back-end product, like in your eyes, the fundamentals of that?
Oh, yeah.
Can we touch on ads tomorrow morning?
We can touch them. Yes, we will touch all of the ads.